Okay, hello. So we need to pass the Algebra ECA. We have some review to do. We have some worksheets in front of, or some note-taking guide, some worksheets in front of you for you to fill out, and I will work them out with you. But as we do this, I encourage you to use the pause button and the rewind button. If you miss something, back up. Or if I go too fast, pause it. I also encourage you to pause it and maybe work ahead. Let me work out a couple problems. You press pause, then you work out the next problem or two, then go back and hit play and see if you did them correctly. Because the more effort and the more concentration you put into these videos, the better your chances of passing the ECA. I will try to keep these videos short and sweet and to the point. Hopefully you'll find them to be useful. Well, let's get started. This very first one simplifies my directions. Number one, that's 2 to the third power. That means 2 times 2 times 2. 3 2's. 2 to the third power. On the calculator, that is sometimes written, or the button is called the caret. It's that arrow that points up. It's called the caret key. Well, the answer would be 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. My answer would be 8. Number 2, that little check mark or division symbol, it's not a division symbol, but it looks like it, is called square root. What's the square root of 49? And that's 7. Go to the next slide. Some exponents. Notice the first 3 have parentheses, the first 3 problems there, but the bottom 2 do not. You need to notice the difference. Let's work these out. -2 squared means -2 times -2. And you know that 2 negatives make a positive, so that answer is 4. The next one is -2 times -2 times -2 a third time. Well, here we have 3 negatives, which means it's going to be negative, and 2, 2, and 2 make the -8. On the next one, -3 times -3 times -3. Well, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again is 27, and that would be -27 because there's an odd number of negatives. But the bottom 2 are a little bit different. It is -2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I don't have 4 negatives because the 4 exponent, the exponent of 4, only applies to the 2. So if you insert parentheses, it's really like that, or just around this group of 2's. 2 times 2 is 4, that'd be 16, and I carry my negative. This negative is just carried out to my answer, -16. So the bottom one would be a -4 times 4. My parentheses would go around the 4's, which that answer would also be a -16. So you got to remember there's a difference between with parentheses and without parentheses when doing problems like this. Next page, 1/3 squared. That is the same thing as 1 squared over 3 squared. 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9. So that answer is 1/9. The middle one's a negative exponent. Instead of 2, what's the reciprocal? That's 1/2. And you make it a positive 2. reciprocal positive exponent, which would be the same thing as 1 squared over 2 squared, which is 1/4. Negative exponents mean reciprocal, so the bottom one, it's -1 exponent. Instead of 2/5, it's going to be 5/2 to the positive 1. Well, I don't need that positive 1, so just 5/2 would be the ideal answer without the positive 1. All right, that's all I have for this first video. Remember, if I write it down, you need to copy it down. And remember about using the pause buttons and the rewind button. Hey, thanks for watching. Good luck on these.